The peace of the Lord is with you, geometry students. This is the wrap up for the geometry practice quiz for our upcoming quiz tomorrow or Friday. I realized I made a couple of mistakes. I made a mistake on number 11, one on number 12, and I need to go over number 13 with you. So I'm going to go back and work numbers 11 and 12 more slowly with you. I trust God will guide me, and it's very, very humbling, but it's a good reminder. I need Jesus as well. He's the only one who didn't make a mistake, and He's the one who represents us before God. So I'm thankful for Him. For number 11 and 12, it says, find x in the diagram shown below. So as we take a look here, we see this angle here is 75. And this angle, this seemingly bigger angle here is 5x minus 10. Let me give it a double arc to distinguish it from the other one. We see parallel lines as indicated by the arrows, and parallel lines are cut by a transversal, and therefore these two angles, they're classified as same side interior angles, and you should represent, well, remember that same side interior angles are what? Supplementary. So let me write it as such. 5x minus 10 plus 75 equals 180. Okay, let's go ahead and do this step by step. The first thing to do, usually, is to put like terms together, combine like terms. So we have a negative 10 plus 75, or 75 minus 10, same thing. It's going to be 5x plus 65. That's going to be equal to 180. We're going to subtract 65 from both sides. So 5x here would be equal to, borrow 1 from the 8, sorry, that leaves me 7. The 1 comes over here making this 10. 10 take away 5 is 5. 7 take away 6 is 1, and this 1 comes straight down to make it 115. Divide both sides by 5. 115 divided by 5. I think this is the answer I got in class, but on the other video it was another answer. So 115 divided by 5. 5 will go into 11 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, that gives me 1. Bring down a 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times, and 3 times 5 would be 15. That's where it ends, and we have x is equal to 23. All right. How about this one? Here we've got parallel lines again, indicated by the arrows, cut by a transversal, and we have two angles that are shown here. This one, and then this one. These are classified as, what would you say? These will be classified as alternate interior angles. They're on alternate sides of the transversal, and they're in the interior between these two angles. So they're alternate interior, and they're always parallel. One theorem says when parallel lines are cut by a transversal, alternate interior angles are congruent or equal. So the setup here is different from the one we just did. It's x plus 15 equal to 80. That's the setup. When we subtract 15, on the left hand side of the equal sign we have x. On the right hand side, borrow 1 from the 8, that leaves us 7. 10 take away 5 is 5. And 7 take away 1 is 6. I got something completely different than the other one. But I think this is the correct answer. X equals 65 here. Alright. The other setups that you could possibly have would be with corresponding angles. You could have alternate exterior angles, and so on. So just reviewing a little bit more with you, if you have parallel lines here and you're given these angles, this one and this one, these would be corresponding angles, they'd be congruent. If you were given this one and this one here, these are called alternate exterior angles, they'd also be congruent. The only angle pair where you don't have congruence is same side sup. Okay, remember that. Say that with me, same side sup. Okay, finally here on 13 it says determine whether the two lines which pass through the specified points are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So we have a line 1 passing through point -3, -7, and -7, -9. So let's examine line 1. See what the slope of line 1 would be. Here it comes. Slope of line 1. So how do we find the slope again? Slope of a line is equal to rise, which is y1 minus y2, sorry, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So for line 1, I'm going to call these my 2's. Where can I write this? Let me go here. -3, -7, -7, -9. So I'm going to call these my 2's. This would be my x2, y2, in which case these would be my 1's, x1, y1. Now I can apply the formula. x2, y2 minus y1 would be -9 minus -7. -9 minus -7. Downstairs, or in the denominator, x2 minus x1 in terms of numbers would be -7 minus -3. -7 minus -3. This I'd like you to do without a calculator. This we would rewrite as -9 I'll go here. -9 minus -7, that would be Jesus taking away all of our negatives, making life positive. Similarly, downstairs would be a -7 minus -3, which would be a +3. Again, the cross indicative of all sins being taken away. It's a positive thing. Now we're left with -9 plus 7. What is that? -9 plus 7. When the signs are different, one negative, one positive, we simply subtract the smaller from the larger. That would give us 2. And use the sign of the larger before the answer. Similarly, downstairs, subtract the smaller from the larger. 7 take away 3 is 4. And use the sign of the larger before the answer. When we reduce this, a negative divided by a negative would give you a positive result. This will be 1/2. That would be the slope of line 1. I'm going to call it m subscript 1. It's 1/2. Let's take a look at the slope of line 2 to see if it's going to be the same, because we know if it's the same, then they're parallel. If the slope of one line is the negative reciprocal of the slope of the other, then they'll be perpendicular. And if it's none of those preceding cases, then they're neither. So here I go with line 2. I'm going to set up for the slope of line 2. Let me call it m sub 2. And for line 2, I'm going to make these my 2's. And these over here would be my 1's. x1 would be 4, and y1 would be 3. So I'm going to apply the same formula, y2 minus y1, over x2 minus x1. And here y2 minus y1 will be 5 minus -3. 5 minus -3. And x2 minus x1 will be 0 minus 4. 5 minus -3 will be again 5 plus 3. This will be over -4. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 divided by negative 4. We know 4 can go into 8 2 times. But positive divided by negative is a negative. So this is negative 2, or negative 2 over 1 would be the slope of line 2. Now here's a question. How does this compare to this? You said it. Slope of line 1 is the negative reciprocal of the slope of line 2. So I would say that line 1 is perpendicular to line 2. May God take you higher than you dream you can ever go. And may you do your best not only in this quiz, but in all your other evaluations and in all of your activities. And have a blessed, sweet, harmonious Thanksgiving. And just read your Bibles every day. All right? Bye-bye now.